So lately, I'm being criticized for coming on here advising both men and women to not accept to be treated a certain way, right? In relationships, of course, to stop begging for the bare minimum. Men in my inbox are telling me, "Musigula chala," I'm giving them wings, I'm empowering them. Women in my inbox are telling me, me, I'm always taking their sides, But I'll start by saying this to the badly behaved men: no one needs to empower or encourage a woman to leave you. You're doing so well on your own. Right? But then, of course, it's easy to point fingers and blame others than to take accountability. And I'd like to tell the badly behaved women that you're not used to being called out on how poorly you treat good men. So I don't expect you getting any gifts for that. It's okay. But the reason I started posting these videos was to remind people that just because you've been conditioned to behave or think a certain way about relationships or do certain things in a specific way, or just because tolerating badly behaved partners and unhealthy relationships have been normalized, we don't have to follow the norm, right? Instead, I would like for us to normalize learning and relearning. In my opinion, a healthy relationship isn't what people have painted it to be these days. Both men and women are hurting their partners, right? Physically, emotionally, and they're not supportive. They sabotage their dreams. There is no respect, there is no compromise, no happiness, no compassion, no kindness, no freedom, no empathy. There is zero friendship in today's marriages. And I keep telling people that if you want a relationship that looks and feels like the most amazing thing on earth, you must treat it like it's the most amazing thing on earth. But how many of us do that? Each one of us has the right to demand what we think we deserve. Realistically, though, and a healthy relationship or partner should create this space for you to grow, to evolve, to be happy and independent. A healthy relationship should create the space for you to feel safe, right? Emotionally and physically. It should be balanced. Yes, you may argue or fight, but you argue and fight fairly. It's not about winning or losing. There should be accountability, there should be support, trust, respect on both ends, right? And if a couple is intentional, these things can be accomplished. Unfortunately, society has convinced us that all men are the same, right? So endure the suffering the one you have is putting you through. And this is what they're telling the men, right? So they can only be used for whatever they can offer. But no, I would like to believe that healthy love still exists. Good partners still exist. Happily ever after is not a fairy tale, you guys. It is a choice, and some couples have made the choice to do the work. You keep telling them they will end in tears, but not every happy couple you see out there is miserable in their relationships. I know misery loves company, but most of the day, some seemingly happy couples you see out there are not pretending or putting on a show. They are genuinely happy because they choose each other every single day, okay? Some of them have friends for partners that still believe in love, cuddles, kisses, dating after the relationship, and they choose to be happy. They do the work to maintain the spark. Anyway, when I get the insulting messages in my inbox, it gets me thinking. I don't think it's the men who are treating their women the right way that are hurling insults at me, or the women who know what they deserve and can ask for it and set boundaries. Now, it's those who are doing the opposite, and my advice kind of rubs them the wrong way. But let me ask, what makes you think that I'll come on here and advise people to accept being treated poorly, unfairly, or to be treated like trash? Like, aren't we taught in Islam to love for our brothers what we love for ourselves? Anyway, my observation has been this: if the criticism is coming from a woman, I think it's because you've settled for men who show no effort, and you don't know how to let go of what you're used to. So you project on me. Or it could be that your man is, or what your man is giving is all you know, or you simply don't believe that good guys exist, because that is not what you saw modeled growing up. But this shouldn't go for a battle. We all make our choices, right? You've made your choice, you've accepted the bare minimum, and bare minimum is all you'll get. If this is how you've chosen to live your life, if this is the relationship you have chosen, then fine. Just allow me speak to those that can relate to what I can say. To those that know their self-worth and aren't afraid to ask for what they deserve, because they know the difference between what they're getting and what they're worthy of. Okay? But I'll say this before I go or I move on. If you don't know your own value, someone else is going to tell you your value, and it's going to be less than your worth. As we can tell already, I am on a journey of trying to build fellow women up. So if it's a man in my inbox who is insulting me, I think it's because strong, assertive, empowered women scare you. They do scare weak men, don't they? By the way, don't confuse strong and assertive with aggressive and argumentative. Some men don't like confident, strong women because number one, they cannot be manipulated. Number two, they don't take a certain level of respect. Meanwhile, men who don't understand that just because a woman is strong and assertive does not mean she is in competition with them, and that a strong woman will be a complement to a strong man, right? Are the ones who are insecure and hate to hear people speak on these issues because they rub them the wrong way. But no apology from my end. Most men I have met who are secure, mature, educated, traveled, self-aware, and have some sort of emotional intelligence, not in that order though, do appreciate a woman who is smart, confident, financially responsible, and assertive. So sis, do not downplay your strength to appease anyone, because a woman can be all of these things and still make a good wife. We have a very good example in the history of Islam. Khadija, radiallahu anha, she was a successful, wealthy businesswoman who employed the Prophet Sallallahu, and she was still a very, very beautiful, amazing wife. They lived together in profound harmony. This is what I have learned about relationships, and I am still learning, right? A healthy relationship is based on give and receive, respect for each other's strengths, and more understanding on the weaknesses, supporting each other and each other's vulnerabilities. There is compromise, there is kindness, there is love. A good relationship requires flexibility and effort to keep it alive. The ability to meet emotional needs of each other without keeping score, being open-minded, accepting of your partner's rights, of their beliefs, the sharing of thoughts about a great variety of subjects. This is a healthy relationship. This is what it looks like. A strong sense of commitment to make the marriage work despite all the differences that you have, right? Being sensitive to each other, recognizing each other's needs and respecting them, being considerate at all times, a positive outlook on life. Okay? Never allowing negativity to come into your marriage, fighting the problems instead of fighting each other, valuing the independence of one another to form their own opinions, making their own decisions, and pursuing their own goals. Never taking each other for granted, but expressing appreciation for one another and being generous with praise. The faith that together you can overcome any crisis as long as you're working together. A willingness to grow, change, and work hard on the marriage. Bingy, I can like if I start explaining how a healthy relationship should look like. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Surah Rum, verse 21, that one of his signs is that he created mates for you from yourselves that you may find tranquility in them, and he placed between you affection and mercy. Marriage is a medium of peace, tranquility. Its foundation is attributed to mercy and love. A building doesn't stand firm on only the basis of two strong bricks which binds them together. No. What strengthens it is the material that won't allow the walls to break down. Mercy and love entail sacrifice, compromise, empathy. So what's holding your relationship together? Right? N'omuvuma n'omuyisamu amaaso n'omulimba n'omwendako constantly n'osula obuvunaanyizibwa mu makaago, omukyala n'omufuula mudduwo, what we call a glorified slave, omwami n'omufuula ekyuma ekitalina emotions, and we are expected to be okay with all of that? Not me. Assalam Alaykum Warahmatullah Wabarakatuh.